I've got some good news. Well, sort of good news. The Canon EOS R8 is going to be announced on the heels of CP+, a Japanese camera and photo imaging show that's going to be held on February the 2nd. Is it going to be the spiritual successor to the Canon EOS R? Or is it going to be another one of those APS-C censored cameras? Details coming up, but first, I encourage you to subscribe and choose all notifications so that way you can be kept up to date on all the latest camera gear, news, and rumors. CP+ will be held in Japan on February the 2nd, 2023. CP+ is a large camera and photo imaging show, and it's certainly a show worth paying attention to. According to Canon Rumours, we're supposed to be getting many cameras being announced on the heels of this show, and one of them, a surprise, the Canon EOS R8 is also going to be announced. The Canon EOS R8 is supposed to have a new flippy screen. I really do hope that they borrow, well, the design and idea behind the flippy screen on the 4-axis Sony a7 R5. I really like that one. It allows it to flip out. It's great for us videographers, but also when you want to keep the view screen completely in line with the lens, I just love that 4-axis tilt screen. Now, in terms of form factor, the Canon EOS R8 is supposed to have, well, a new form factor. We don't know if it's going to be more like the R10, the R7, or the EOS R or the R6 Mark II. But this is where things get a little bit crazy, and not in a good way. According to Canon Rumours, we also believe that the Canon EOS R8 will use the same 24.2 megapixel image sensor that's used in the Canon EOS R10. And if you recall, the Canon EOS R10 is an APS-C camera, as is the R7. So if it's going to use the same sensor, that means Canon EOS R8 is going to be an APS-C censored camera. And this just doesn't make any sense to me. I've got to go against Canon Rumours here, because if Canon Rumours is correct, Canon's doing something really crazy. So the Canon EOS R7 sells for $1499, and the Canon EOS R10 sells for, well, $979 regularly, although it's on sale for $100 off right now. Another APS-C camera to sit between those two? Is there really enough? Is there enough differences between the R7 and the R10 to justify another APS-C censored camera? I don't think so. I think this is just absolute craziness. It doesn't make any sense to me. Sadly, we don't have any other Rumours specifications for this camera, and if it's supposed to be coming out on the heels of CP+, well, then we're expecting an announcement sometime between, well, January the 22nd and February the 2nd. I'm really interested to see what this camera is going to be. We had leaked specifications on this camera a while ago, but what those turned out being were the leaked specifications for the Canon EOS R6 Mark II. If the R8 is another APS-C censored camera, well, it's probably going to be closer to the R7 in terms of capabilities, and that would price it somewhere around $1,299 or maybe even $1,199, and I don't know. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Let's take a look at Canon's existing lineup. We have the Canon EOS RP at $999, followed by the EOS R at $1,799. Now, when that camera first came out, the Canon EOS R was around $2299, and I really do believe that the Canon EOS R6 is the spiritual successor to the Canon EOS R. However, if we give the moniker the R8 to another APS-C censored camera, well, what is that saying about Canon's lineup? And let's take a look at the existing, well, current or previous DSLR lineup, and we have the 7D, and it is an APS-C high-end camera. And then we have another full-frame camera, the 6D. I really do believe that Canon's going to refresh the Canon EOS RP. They're going to give it a moniker such as, well, the R9. And what I was expecting, what I really believe can still happen, is that there's going to be another full-frame camera that sits between the Canon EOS RP, which sells currently for $999, and the Canon EOS R6. And that would be a camera priced right where the EOS R is right now at around $1699 to $1799. And it would be mid-spec between the Canon EOS RP and the Canon EOS R6. Now, what I thought initially would happen is that the R8 would be that replacement camera between the RP and the R6, and then the Canon EOS RP replacement would have the R9 designation. I don't know. I feel like doing a facepalm all over again. I'm looking forward to seeing what the Canon EOS R8 is going to be, but as another APS-C censored camera sitting underneath the R7 that's more capable than the R10, but not as capable as the R7, that to me just doesn't make any sense. It would be overcrowded. We already have a rumor that Canon is supposed to be coming out with multiple affordable APS-C censored cameras that sit underneath the R10, so an R50, R100, or R1000. And this would replace, well, the Rebel series, the T8i, the T7i, and maybe the SL2 and the SL3. But again, having this as being too crowded of a space doesn't make sense to me either because, well, you've already got a smartphone in your pocket that does a very good job. And we saw what Sony tried to do with a ZV-1F, and it didn't work out very well for Sony because they ended up putting a contrast detect autofocus system in to try and differentiate it from the ZV-E10. And Canon would face similar problems. They can't make the camera too cheap and also, well, take away some of the capabilities when that video phone and that stills capable phone in your pocket can do a better job. It doesn't make sense to overcrowd that APS-C line. And this is where I'm scratching my head. I can see another APS-C camera. I could potentially see two APS-C cameras, more affordable cameras to replace the SL3 and the T8i. But the R8 with a 24.2 APS-C censored camera, no, I don't get that. Now, if Canon Rumours was referring to the same 24.2 sensor but in full frame, yeah, that would make sense to me. But I looked over the article, I didn't see anything, and as of 4:30 this morning, Tuesday morning, I'm just a little bit shocked, and that's why the thumbnail has me with a facepalm, because I just don't understand another APS-C censored camera sitting between the R7 and the R10. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I was really hoping when I woke up this morning, I was really hoping to see something like updated specs on the Canon EOS R5 Mark II. I was studying the specs last night so I could go over them and be ready for them, and wondering if we're still getting a 61 megapixel backside illuminated sensor, if we're still getting dual Digic X image processors, if we're still getting 8K 60 frames per second, and we're still getting oversampled 4K 30, 4K 60, 4K 120, and still getting dual CF Express Type B card slots. Yeah, I'm really interested in the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, and as soon as I find out more information about that, I'll let you know. And as soon as I find out more information about this mysterious camera, the Canon EOS R8, I'll let you know as well. But what I'm really curious from your point of view, what kind of specifications do you think would go into this Canon EOS R8 if it's going to be an APS-C censored camera with a 24.2 megapixel sensor, or if it's going to be, well, a full frame camera, 24.2 megapixels, APS-C? I don't know. I'm really I'm at a loss for words. But if you want to stay up to date on all the latest camera news and rumors, please go ahead and click that subscribe button followed by choosing all notifications. So that way, as soon as I publish a new video like this one here, you'll be notified by YouTube. So that way you can stay up to date on all the latest camera news and rumors. And if you're interested in purchasing any new camera gear or camera gear accessories, please use my links down below for B&H or Amazon.com, because I get a small commission back. And that really helps support this channel in buying new gear like the Canon EOS R5 Mark II and the upcoming Canon EOS R1. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for dialing in. Dialing in? That's something I said last year. It doesn't make any sense. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon, and have yourself a happy new year if I don't see you or hear from you before the new year. But I have a sense that we're going to start to get a bunch more rumors over the next couple of days. Things are starting to heat up. CP Plus is just over a month away, but we're going to start to get announcements in the week preceding that. So right around January the 22nd. So I expect to get a lot more leaks between now and then. And I'm hoping to find out more about that mythical Lumix new camera based on the AS5 that's supposed to have a new face detect autofocus system. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon.